Should the aquatic park? Call 503-557-SURF.
Tonight's headlines. Fighting for his job, Lott takes his case to black America. Gore leaves Democratic field wide open. Crisis in Venezuela. It could hit your wallet. Also tonight, El Nino strikes again. A deadly storm batters the West Coast. CBS News investigates allegations of a cover-up of criminal activity at a critical national weapons lab. And Eye on America. The law gives battered women convicted of murdering their abusers a second chance.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Whether Trent Lott stays Republican leader of the U.S. Senate or goes is no longer up to him alone. In his latest bid to keep his job, Lott of Mississippi is taking his case directly to African Americans in a national televised interview tonight. But his fate, after his recent remarks widely criticized as racist, is now in the hands of other Republican senators and President Bush. CBS News correspondent Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill begins our coverage. Bob?
Dan, Senate Republicans will hold an extraordinary meeting early next year to decide whether Trent Lott should stay in the powerful post of Senate Majority Leader. Presidential spokesman Ari Fleischer said again today the president does not believe Lott needs to resign. But key Republican sources are telling me that if Republican senators do try to oust Lott, the president will not interfere, nor will he try to help Lott. Apologizing for the sixth time for saying the country would have been better off if then segregationist Strom Thurmond had been elected president in 1948. Lott told Black Entertainment Television in an interview to be broadcast tonight that he hoped to use the future to make up for the past.
I'm looking for this to be not only an opportunity for redemption, but to do something about it.
Facing tough questions, he said he now understands the hurt he caused.
But it was insensitive at the very least and repugnant, frankly.
Denouncing his vote against the Martin Luther King holiday, Lott said he would vote for it today and vowed to learn from past mistakes.
This is a wake-up call. And this is an opportunity for me to do something about years of misbehavior. Well, I'll have to weigh all of my actions differently and more carefully.
Before the interview back at the Capitol, long-distance lines were buzzing. Lott's deputy, Oklahoma Senator Don Nichols, was the first to say Republicans should consider replacing Lott as their leader. And Tennessee Senator Bill Frist, considered a leading candidate to replace Lott should he leave, issued a written statement saying, "My Republican colleagues and I are actively engaged in deciding what is in the best interest of the Senate as an institution and the country." By nightfall, Republican senators calling for a meeting to discuss Lott's future included Burns of Montana, Hagel of Nebraska, Warner of Virginia, and McCain of Arizona. Some wanted the meeting this week, but Lott's allies managed to put it off until January 6th, one day before the new Congress convenes. That gives Lott more time to plead his cause, but with no help expected from the White House and few colleagues coming to his defense, this is looking more and more like a battle Lott could lose. Dan.
Bob Schieffer reporting live from Washington. Senator Lott is 61 years old. One big factor in deciding his future will be his past, his political record through the years. CBS's Bob McNamara has been looking into that part of the story.
As a student at the University of Mississippi in the early 60s, Trent Lott's political views were already shaped in those of the Old South, the Mississippi of the Confederate flag. In 1963, as a senior, Lott was against the integration of the university by James Meredith. That same year, Lott led a fight to keep his fraternity all white. Trent Lott would become a face even old soldiers of the civil rights era came to know years ago.
He continues to embrace the horrific, dark shadows of America's shameful past.
As a newly elected congressman in 1972, the first bill Trent Lott introduced was an anti-busing measure. And years later, from his votes against the Martin Luther King holiday to opposing the renewal of the Voting Rights Act, race was an issue that wound its way through Lott's 30-year political career.
We don't know the man, I don't think I've ever shook his hand. And I've been living here for 27 years.
Curly Clark, Jackson County, Mississippi's NAACP president, says that while Trent Lott did help bring thousands of shipbuilding jobs to African Americans in southern Mississippi, Lott's social and political face-to-face contact here has rarely been with minorities.
You take a person who has been around segregated settings all of his life, he doesn't see anything wrong with that.
There was a society then that was wrong and wicked. I didn't create it, and I didn't even really understand it for many, many years.
Lott's support cuts across racial lines mostly when it comes to jobs.
I'm not going to forget what he said, but I will accept his apology by all means.
Tonight, with his supporters circling the wagons, a favorite son's political future seems more and more uncertain by what many thought was a past long forgotten. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Pascagoula, Mississippi.
The full interview with Senator Lott will be shown at 8 o'clock Eastern Time this evening on the BET cable network. What is officially described as the independent commission that will investigate 9/11 is off to a shaky start. First, the vice chairman, George Mitchell, resigned. Then the chairman, Henry Kissinger, did the same. So, another try. President Bush today named Republican Tom Kean the new chairman. Kean is a former governor of New Jersey, currently president of Drew University. The landscape for the 2004 presidential campaign shifted dramatically overnight with Al Gore's announcement that he will not seek the Democratic nomination for another run against Mr. Bush. CBS's Bill Plant has the early line on how Gore's early no-go decision affects who's in and who's out.
Make a brief
Gore's announcement stunned most Democrats. Today, he explained that he didn't think a rematch would be good for the country, would focus on the past, not the future. But he also hinted at an equally important reason. He was having trouble raising money and lining up key supporters.
There are folks in parts of the Democratic Party who felt exhausted by the whole 2000 process.
The decision blows the race for the Democratic nomination wide open to a field of less famous faces. Senator Joe Lieberman, Gore's running mate in 2000, is probably the best known.
I said I probably would run if Al Gore doesn't run, and that remains the case.
Massachusetts Senator John Kerry has all but declared and said today Gore's move would have no effect on him. Kerry's advantage, he's already known to voters in neighboring New Hampshire, the first primary state. The mostly unknown governor of Vermont, Howard Dean, is running a grassroots campaign. Today, he was in Iowa, whose early voter caucuses are his only chance to break through. Another possible contender, North Carolina Senator John Edwards, who has been testing the waters for a presidential run for more than a year. And Gore's exit makes it even more likely that House Minority Leader Dick Gephardt, who has strong labor support, and South Dakota Senator Tom Daschle, now no longer the majority leader, could roll the dice on a run for the top job. At the Bush White House, they shrugged off Gore's decision as an internal matter for the Democrats, except for this calculated dig.
Somebody will emerge from the Democratic field who will ultimately seek to raise taxes on the American people.
But in fact, the White House, according to sources close to the administration, would really rather run against Al Gore, because then they could make all about the last election instead of about the economy. Dan?
Bill Plant reporting live from the White House. U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell said today the Bush administration will not make a final judgment on Iraq's weapons declaration until the end of this week. But in his first public comment on it, Powell said there are problems with the Iraqi documents. He did not say what they are. The crisis in Venezuela is deepening and threatens to reach Main Street, USA. Today, opponents of Venezuela's president again took to the streets in the capital of Caracas to demand that he quit or at the very least call early elections. CBS News correspondent Bill Whitaker is there.
Week 3 into the crippling anti-government strike, and opponents to leftist President Hugo Chavez turned up the heat. Protesters threw rocks. Police fired rubber bullets.
This is what political chaos looks and sounds like. A small march of Chavez supporters was immediately blocked and surrounded by a much larger group of Chavez opponents. Only a single line of police kept the two sides apart.
The widespread strike is choking off the country's lifeblood, oil. Venezuela supplies 13% of U.S. oil imports, about the same as Saudi Arabia. The strike has cut production from almost 3 million barrels a day to 500,000, and the U.S. might soon feel the pinch at the pump.
The conflict has gotten hotter since 3 anti-Chavez demonstrators were shot and killed 10 days ago, spurring a massive 1 million-strong protest in Caracas Saturday. The president is unmoved. Only the will of the people can kick me out, he says. His support is among the majority, who are poor and passionate. We will support Chavez to the end, she says. It's either country or death. The head of the Organization of American States is mediating talks, but fears the streets could erupt before a solution is found.
It's already a very serious situation, and it may get worse if we don't find a solution. It may get worse in the next few days.
Oil, heat, a combustible mix, and the fear is it won't take much to set it off. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Caracas, Venezuela.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, security lapses at a top U.S. nuclear weapons lab have been kept secret. We'll tell you what an ongoing CBS News investigation has turned up now.
We're in a barracks for the Tylex Soap Scum Challenge. These muddy, sweaty recruits will shower day in and day out, building up a film of scum. A combination of soap, sweat, body oil, and dirt. Is this soap scum too tough for Tylex? Well, hold on to your shorts. New improved Tylex Soap Scum Remover dissolves soap scum so you just wipe it away. That scum didn't stand a chance. Tylex Soap Scum Remover. Proof. Nothing's tougher than Tylex.
They're coming. Oh, what a time for a cold.
Nose is running, head's all blocked up. I need some Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Only Alka-Seltzer Plus has an effervescent cold-fighting formula that breaks up your worst cold symptoms fast. Alka-Seltzer Plus.
A report in a leading medical journal recognizes the link between vitamins and the reduced risk of chronic diseases and recommends all adults take one multivitamin daily. So take Centrum today, always complete from A to Z.
The new Silverado is here. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
You know, heartburn is bad enough. But then, just when you think it's gone, you get it again. That's why I use Pepcid. Just one does it. I take one Pepcid AC to prevent heartburn. It actually stops it before it even starts. Or, after heartburn hits, I take one Pepcid Complete. It starts working in seconds and lasts all day or all night. Heartburn stop me? No way. Pepcid. Just one and heartburn's done.
Introducing Glade Gingerbread Spice. Created by nature. Captured by Glade.
That just clean feeling the dentist gives you, now you can give it for the holidays. Introducing the newest Crest Spin Brush, Spin Brush Pro. It spins and goes up and down to make that dentist clean feeling the perfect gift. Crest Spin Brush Pro.
For some time now, CBS News has been looking into security breaches at the nation's top nuclear weapons research facility, the one at Los Alamos, New Mexico. Recently, when 2 laboratory investigators there turned up evidence of wrongdoing, they were fired. Now, CBS's Cheryl Atkinson has been doing some more digging and has this update.
CBS News has learned investigators are taking a close look at 2 managers at the Los Alamos Weapons Lab. The first is the lab's top attorney, Frank Dixon. Investigators are asking whether he kept some internal crime secret instead of reporting them as required, and are looking into his attempts to access evidence in cases against lab workers. Sources say Dixon also undercut these 2 lab investigators who were helping the FBI probe widespread abuse.
Both Steve and I were told emphatically that we were not allowed to communicate with the FBI.
Glenn Walp and Stephen Doran had been tracking millions of dollars in theft, including spy gear, a customized car charged to a government credit card, and stolen big-ticket items like a 2-ton magnet, a forklift, and materials that could help rogue nations develop a nuclear weapon. But they say the more they uncovered, the more uncomfortable lab management became.
They never told us not to continue
but they made it extremely difficult for us to continue.
They were stopped altogether when lab management abruptly fired them last month. Sources say investigators are also looking at the lab division run by Catherine Britton, shown here in the center. It's supposed to root out waste, fraud, and abuse, but investigators are looking at whether Britton used her position to bury problems instead of expose them, all to protect the University of California, which runs the lab with federal money. Danielle Bryan, who heads a watchdog group that tracks Los Alamos lab, says taxpayers are the losers.
This is federal money that's paying for this, and it's over $1 billion a year. This is a lot of money going to a place which has had virtually no oversight.
Nobody from Los Alamos Lab would talk with us on camera, but a spokesman says Chief Counsel Frank Dixon and Catherine Britton have done nothing wrong and are not involved in any cover-up. The lab adds it's cooperating with all investigations into the abuses and alleged cover-ups, including the FBI, the Energy Department Inspector General, and Congress. Dan?
Reporting live from Washington, Cheryl Atkinson. Pope John Paul gave his blessing today to the new policy America's Roman Catholic bishops established for dealing with priests accused of sexually abusing children. Meanwhile, Cardinal Bernard Law today made his first public appearance since the Pope accepted his resignation Friday as Archbishop of Boston.
To all those who have suffered from my shortcomings and from my mistakes, I once again apologize, and from them I beg forgiveness.
Cardinal Law says he will spend some time in a monastery, then take up residence outside the Boston Archdiocese, but will remain available for legal proceedings. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, dangerous El Nino storms batter the Pacific coast, and it's only the beginning.
Ask your doctor about Celebrex.
Cough keeping everyone up? Skip the 4-hour cough medicine. Get the NyQuil formula just for coughs. NyQuil Cough. It's made to last all night for 8 hours of sleep. NyQuil Cough, that stops your coughing so you can sleep through the night cough medicine. From the makers of NyQuil.
Yes, doctor. I have your colon polyp test results. Dan? Dan, you're fine.
Help stay that way with new Caltrate Colon Health. A clinical trial suggests Caltrate may reduce the risk of recurrent colon polyps. Don't wait. Take new Caltrate Colon Health.
It's better than beef and mushroom soup.
Campbell Select beef with portobello mushrooms and rice. It starts with real beef stock, not water like yours. And Campbell Select beef agresso in a taste test. Hey.
That is better.
Campbell Select.
Hey, Steve. How do you keep your toilet so clean?
I touch it up with Scrubbing Bubbles toilet wipes.
I heard about those.
And get this, they're flushable. Now if I could just get my wife to use them.
Scrubbing Bubbles toilet wipe.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
If you've always got to go, ask your doctor about Detrol LA. It's been proven effective for overactive bladder.
Anyone need a break?
Not right now.
You shouldn't take it if you have stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA, when you've always got to go.
We'll see you in the morning, sweetie.
You, in the mood?
Only. Introducing Pillsbury's biggest cookie ever. New Big Deluxe Classics. 2 kinds of chocolate, 1 big cookie. With luscious, semi-sweet morsels and gooey milk chocolate chips, you just have to give in.
Hey, what are you doing?
New Big Deluxe Classics from Pillsbury. Go on, give in.
Millions drive sport utility vehicles, even though they have a serious safety problem.
It's the fastest growing form of fatalities in motor vehicles today.
So what's being done to make them safer? Don't miss our special Eye on America report tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
El Nino-generated storms are mashing the Pacific coast again with little relief in sight. There have been at least 6 storm-related deaths. And these nasty storm systems, wave after wave, after slamming the west, are heading east. CBS's John Blackstone is on the Weather Watch.
The fierce Pacific storm hit the coast of Oregon and northern California with winds gusting 80 to 100 miles an hour. In Cannon Beach, Oregon, the adventurous came out to challenge the weather.
I'm feeling the wind! Oh!
In Reno, the wind didn't give this gambling city a chance. The losses were counted in fallen trees, signs, and power lines. And high in the Sierra Mountains, a blizzard so blinding a man was killed in an avalanche. Overnight, torrential rain saturated San Francisco's suburbs, bringing emergency orders to evacuate.
You know where the sandbags are, sir?
More than 18 inches of rain has fallen here since Saturday. Vineyards were underwater, and so was the main street in Napa, where a couple was stuck in a tree for 2 hours.
We could see the water coming up around us. Yeah. It was scary, yeah.
Firefighters rescued a San Francisco woman trapped in a car, using their ladder as a bridge.
This may, in fact, be the first signs of El Nino's impact on West Coast patterns.
The prediction is for a series of storms at least through Christmas, and with the ground now saturated, there's an increased threat of both floods and mudslides. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
It has not been a good 3 days for the Norwegian ship Tricolor. First, it collided with another ship in the English Channel and sank along with its cargo of 2,800 luxury cars. Then last night, an empty cargo ship crashed into the sunken Tricolor. Tugboats pulled that ship to safety. Nobody on any of the 3 ships was injured. New research out tonight raises doubts about a popular herbal treatment for colds. Tests on about 150 college students found echinacea did nothing to ease their symptoms or make their colds go away sooner. But this study did not address the effects of the herb on older people who have a cold. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, Eye on America. She was convicted of murdering her abusive husband. Now the law says, wait a minute, something's wrong here.
Cold symptoms making your get up and go? Get up and leave. Get Dayquil. It's like NyQuil, but for daytime. It relieves your tough symptoms to help you get back your energy. Dayquil, the daytime non-drowsy, stuffy head, sore throat, coughing, aching, fever, help get back your energy. Medicine.
Where will you be when your diarrhea comes back? You should have taken Imodium the first time. It stops diarrhea, often in just 1 dose. Imodium AD. Don't wait till it's too late.
Looking for parental controls that work harder? Introducing MSN 8, where advanced Microsoft software helps protect your kids with more flexible controls you set, controls AOL can't match. It's better with the Butterfly. Call 866 now MSN 8.
Ask your doctor about Celebrex.
Dum da da dum. Dum da 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 dum. Ba da 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 dum. Dum da da dum.
Rich, delicious V8 vegetable juice has a full serving of vegetables. Because sometimes what you eat doesn't. V8. Drink smarter.
So, you're back screaming, oh no! Try a Thermacare heat wrap. 8 hours of heat to relax those tight muscles. So circulation flows in, helping pain flow out. Thermacare heat wraps. Feel the difference between can't and...
How far would you go to protect your property?
A Northwest man in trouble because he was trying to protect his car from a teenager. Should he be punished? At 6.
Now, some of the stories we'll be reporting later this week. How safe is your SUV? We'll give you a sneak peek at the government's rollover tests. We'll tell you about a test that measures breast cancer risk and about a woman who wishes she'd taken it. And later in the week, a 2-part Consumer Alert investigation about so-called credit counselors who promise to get you out of debt. It's been estimated that it happens every 9 seconds in this country. A woman is physically abused by her husband. Some women who have fought back and killed their abusers wound up in prison for murder. Now, the law is taking a new look at such cases and giving women a second chance, as Bill Whitaker reports in tonight's Eye on America.
When Marva Wallace was sentenced to 25 years to life for shooting her husband to death, her children were little more than babies.
They were 3 and 7 when I first went in. Now they're 25 and 21.
Now, after 17 years in prison, she's been set free. A Los Angeles judge ordered a new trial.
And I asked my attorney, does that mean I'm going home?
Wallace is the first woman released under a groundbreaking state law to help at least 100 women like her, battered women convicted and imprisoned for murder before 1992, the year California legitimized the battered women syndrome defense. They can now seek a new trial with expert testimony not heard the first time, that they could have been driven to kill.
And the kicking and punching and pulling out my hair, that got really bad.
But it was murder.
I know, killing someone, that was wrong. But I was afraid that if I hadn't killed him, he would have killed me.
Why would someone live like that?
Dr. Nancy Kaiser-Boyd helped convince the judge Wallace's original jury needed to hear that women can be terrorized by beatings and threats.
If you leave, I'll kill you. I'll make you so no other man will want you. I'll get the children. And that's the #1 reason women don't leave is fear.
Hitting you, raping you at gunpoint, knife point, whatever.
At the Southern California prison where Wallace was locked up, battered women have regular meetings. Valeer Boyd got 15 to life for killing her abuser.
I tried to call the police on him one time, and he ripped the phone out of the wall and beat me so bad that I couldn't walk for a week.
She says when Marva Wallace walked out of jail, it gave all of them hope.
It's like she cracked open the gate a little bit. For so long, the door has been closed on us.
But Wallace's freedom is no slam dunk. Even with a new trial and new defense, the LADA says the old evidence still could put Marva Wallace back in prison.
Her obvious planning and deliberation in the commission of the crime, her attempt to cover it up, would not be something that could be explained away to any significant degree by a battered women's expert.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future or later on, but I'm just thankful to share this day where I can enjoy it with my family, my son, my grandson.
Women like Wallace may get a new day in court. Whether battered women's syndrome will change the verdict, the jury is still out. In Chino, California, this is Bill Whitaker for Eye on America.
What's next? That's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather inviting you back tomorrow for news that matters on the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. This is CBS. Next on Coin 6 News at 6.
Flooded highways, road closures, and trees through homes. Winter isn't even here yet, but fall is going out with a bang.
Words can't describe her pain. Her son died while in the care of a foster family. Tonight, hear from the mother of the boy found in a Salem Creek this morning.
And is Joey Harrington's football career over? The health problems that have benched the football star indefinitely.
Now, with Julie Emery and Jeff Gianola, this is Coin 6 News at 6.
Monday night across the Northwest. Hello and welcome to Coin 6 News. I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Julie Emmer. Here's the latest. The storms that raged from the coast to central Oregon have turned deadly. Last night, a fierce windstorm killed 2 people when a tree crashed through the roof and into the bedroom of a Bend couple. It happened on Broster House Road in Southeast Bend. Mike Donahue reports this accident could be repeated.
It has been a late opening, really all the way into January a couple times.
As the snow returns to Mount Hood, snowmobilers are excited too.
Means it's time to ride, time to go play.
That does look like a blast, doesn't it? Hey, if you want to know what's going on at